What's going on, guys? Welcome to Relative Rewind. Make sure to subscribe if you like things, actually all things nostalgia. And I'm David.
I'm Corey.
And I am his older uncle by only 5 years. We don't really say that a lot. Probably should, because that's where the whole Relative Rewind comes from, right?
Yeah, but things are relative. So,
And we like to rewind.
yeah.
Ooh, that's smooth. Hey, but yeah, make sure you subscribe. This is going to be a fun one because another long form, and it kind of relates to kind of our very first one because we just a couple weeks ago went and saw The Secret of the Ooze 35th anniversary. Man, that came quick, like
Really
right after.
did. Yeah.
Like they just put the movies out back to back the following years, but
Just like they did, though.
yeah, but it was a dope experience. Like, you know, first, let's just say another dope experience. Thank you for Fathom Entertainment, AMC Studios, which when we went to, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like,
It was nice to be able to go
all that.
see it on the big screen.
Yeah, and I was excited. We got to go with your brother and my other nephew, so that was a lot of fun this time around. So we got a lot to talk about. We have not talked about this really in detail. So we're going to start with this is let's just go experience first. I mean, we did that last time. Let's be fair to the first view. But how was the experience, you think? Had just as good a time as you did the first one?
Actually, yeah. I did not, from my memory, I was like, the second one's kind of whatever.
Yeah.
Nah, just as good in my opinion. And I understand for you it's a little different. I think
Yeah.
you prefer the first one. Honestly, even with the tone shift and them not being able to use their weapons, really, I think they're both equally as good.
Okay, that's interesting. Before I dig into that, because I got a lot to say about that, and hopefully, people don't hate me afterwards. But let's talk about what I thought was really interesting and why you could kind of tell, and maybe what helped dictate the way I thought about this later on. But in the beginning of the first and the second movie, they did a special little interview.
Yeah.
The first one was really, really, really detailed.
It was kind of more like a little documentary, like more of a behind the scenes.
Done so well.
Yeah.
It went into the actual movie.
Yeah. Talked about the timeline for it, constraints, issues they had, showed two of the scenes or like the tunnel that they used, showed the alternate potential intro.
Which would have been cool.
Yeah, that they were going to use. So it was actually more about the movie itself, about actually the process of making the movie, where the second one, they had an intro, but it was entirely different.
All right, so two separate people. Like, let's start on that. First one, they focused on the director.
Yeah.
Like, he talked about the movie. The second one, surprisingly, they went with Kevin Eastman. So one of the creators from Ninja Turtles. So when I saw him get on the scene, I said, oh man, this is going to be dope. Like, they're going to talk a lot about it. The amazing thing is they didn't talk about the second movie other than, do you remember?
Yeah, he's like, here's some little footnotes, and this is kind of how it turned into the ninja rap.
That's it.
Yeah, that was the only part about the second movie that he even talked about.
And then he just talked about
The franchise itself.
Yes.
Not thinking that the Turtles would even come into something, how him and Peter Laird wrote the first comic as like a parody.
Yep.
So he's like, we made it as a finished story because we didn't even think we would get the opportunity to extend upon it.
Right.
So he's like, when they were like, oh, hey, let's do more of this. And then he just kind of kept talking about that. He didn't really talk about the second movie at all.
Not at all.
And you mentioned this, and I agree with it. You were kind of like, maybe it's because he was so upset with the tone shift or the directional change with the movies in the second one and them not being allowed to use their weapons and it not being able to have that darker tone.
Yeah, I think two things I got out of that was, first, he said inspiration came from Bruce Lee. I didn't know that. That was pretty cool. That was
neat, yeah.
There may be articles or other people may know that in TMNT, lore, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I thought was interesting when I was listening to him speak is him not mentioning anything about the second movie. Just kind of helped reiterate to me that, like, this dude really don't like this movie.
Yeah.
And I looked it up. I did look it up after, and he did say, this is crazy. Like it's kind of crazy for me not to agree with the creator of Ninja Turtles, but he said that it is his least favorite live action movie out of the three. Over the third one.
I was gonna say,
yes.
I can't imagine how he thinks about the third one.
Hated the second one that bad. So, yeah, he just did not like the tone. He wanted the tone to be just like the first, and he just didn't like the direction of it. Even to the point. Now, I did read something where he says he appreciates that the fans love it, even 35 years later, and I think that's why he was willing to, be the one that does. I don't know. I didn't look into it. Maybe something we should have. I don't know why they didn't have the director. Was it the same director? Was it a different one? Is that person not alive? Maybe that's why they couldn't. I don't know. Put into the comments if you guys, watching the video. I don't know that at this time right now while we're recording.
Yeah. Now, and thinking about it though, so coming off of the second movie, I mean, it's got to be like right after the first movie.
Yeah.
Given that Shredder just popping out of the junkyard. I mean, how long has he been?
When I was young, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, right? Well, I think that the tone shift, at least for the Turtles and them being so much more goofy, more teenager-like, also makes sense if you think about that. They're coming off of a high. They're coming off of a win. They're like, what do we even need to worry about anymore? Why do we need to be so
Splinter coming off of the win. Which they do mention
fair.
that.
They do. They're
mention
like,
that.
Yeah, they're like, we didn't really even do anything. Splinter
I forget who it was. It may have been like Ralph or someone that said that.
Came in with the roundhouse.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he just shows up. And the crazy thing is when you look at this, I think when I was younger, I enjoyed it. So, like I said, still has one of my favorite moments from the movies, and that's, the Vanilla Ice club scene.
Yeah, you're always like, go ninja.
Go ninja, go. So with that, man, this is where I was saying where we haven't talked about. And we're going to dig a little bit into this. After watching this, and I had time to marinate on it, I had time to think about it, I really didn't like it as much as what I did when I was younger. And I would say that I think they did a really bad job on it.
What?
Yeah, so follow me. I do think because of the tone, and like I said, maybe Kevin Eastman and his direction in that interview helped create my lens a little bit for them, because I already knew the tone was different. We talked about that before, so we knew that. So I knew that. But I really felt like, and we said this before the movie started, it was just a guess. I said to you, right before, I said, I wonder if the reason why they wrote the moment where it opens up with the toy store, where they're just using different weapons, is them just like taking shots saying, oh, well, we can't use that. We'll just show kids how to use ordinary things that they're using to beat up people.
Right. You're saying we don't want them to use the actual weapons that we can keep away from them. Okay. Anything can be a weapon.
Yeah. So this is what I would say. The first one, I thought the flow was really done well. Wasn't too long. The story progressed really well. This one felt like, when I'm watching it now, in the lens of a 30-something-year-old man, right, who still loves turtles, but loves stories.
I like turtles.
Yeah. And loves movies, loves a great story. I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, this, you can tell, is written quick. You can tell that, they didn't put a lot of thought to it and that they rushed it. And you could tell that there was creative differences in it. Yeah. I mean, you really could. So I think when you're looking at it like that, I agree with you. I do like the Turtles' personalities. I do wish that the first one kind of showed that a little, but still kept that tone. Like, I think it could have been done, but I wasn't as big of a fan. The action wasn't as good, right? I just wasn't maybe the best action scene in that. And I know you probably say the beginning, and that was cool. Probably the best action scene is when they're in the junkyard.
When it's just Raph?
Yes.
I think you just like seeing Raph just like going at
I
it.
do. But then that wasn't even as cool. And I feel like that was kind of, think about this. It was kind of the similar flow to the first one. I feel like they're just like, all right, we got to recreate the first one, lighter tone. Let's follow the same kind of similar story, but let's make it not as good. And I'm just like,
Make it not as good.
yeah, it's just frustrating with that. I'm still a huge TMNT guy. I would still watch the movie with my kids. But when I would look at this now, man, before I went to the movies and saw it and watched it again, I would have put that probably, I would put the first one, then this one, then the newest animated one that came out. Now I'm putting the animated one probably right below.
Oh, wow.
It really is so disappointing. And you didn't have the Shredder fight. Like, I knew that always bothered me, but seeing it again, it really bothered me.
I really wonder why they chose to do like the Super Shredder thing when they couldn't really keep him up.
Yeah.
Because from what I saw, it was something about budget constraints on how it was so much to do the Super Shredder. Like he was such a big figure, angled, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
They should have just done another regular Shredder fight.
I agree.
Yeah, maybe.
You had to. You never got to run it back.
Yeah, right. So that's probably my biggest letdown from the movie. My favorite little part, especially when we talk about the dig with the toy store and them fighting in it, was when Mikey got hit into like the butcher counter and then pulled out like the links of salami.
Yeah.
That look exactly like nunchucks.
It did.
I mean, so it's like, what are we doing here? I think the most that Leo used his swords was to like stab him into the ceiling to like kick somebody.
And in the first movie, he's striking Shredder, and you see it.
Yeah, he was the only person I think to hit him. Shredder out of the turtles. Yeah,
cut him.
Yeah,
and like I said, it was one quick cut. Now, I will say this though, I did like the turtles interacting with each other.
Yeah,
that was cool.
The brotherly goofiness, yes, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like even if you would have kept it with the same tone, you still could have given them, at least in the beginning, that goofiness. Because coming off of the win, whether false or not, to them, they're like, we did it.
And then recasting April O'Neil and then not having Casey Jones was frustrating.
That's what now I didn't realize that it was because of the tone shift that apparently they didn't bring Casey Jones back either because he was too scary. Just don't give him the hockey mask.
Yeah, with the hockey mask.
Right? Change the hockey mask.
I mean, I kind of get it Michael Myers. In the first one, man, I mean, he was gooning over April O'Neil. I mean, hard. I mean, you notice it when you're young, but when you're old, you're like, yo, homeboy is trying. He's like, yo, let me shoot my shot. And that was kind of cool because the turtles, kind of saw that too. They're teenagers. So, Mikey was like,
oh, yeah. He's like, okay.
Yeah. And then, but I do like the interaction with the turtles in the second one. And it was really cool to see the Vanilla Ice scene on the big screen. Now, interesting, in our theater, and we went on a Sunday. Last time we went on a Saturday. This time we went on a Sunday, and I would say there was more people in our showing on the Sunday. And I thought that was pretty cool. So more people came into this, maybe into the second at our time. I thought that was pretty interesting.
I felt like there were more people during the first one.
Did you?
Yeah.
They have to think back.
I mean, there was like a couple groups. People were wearing shirts.
Maybe.
Like, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. But again, going back to it, I think seeing this made me realize that, and we're a nostalgia channel, and this totally, but I feel like the nostalgia made it better to me than what it was.
That's fair. I still think they should do another live action movie.
They need to.
Yeah.
And I really did like the animated one. I really did. I took my kids to see it a couple years ago. We rewatched it like a year ago. Done really, really well. If they would have done that one in like a live action, it would have been so dope. Now I kind of get you kind of can't because of all the things that they tried to do. But the turtles acted really well. I think yesterday you were talking about how your friend's kids watch it on Nickelodeon. I think that's the animation they go with. I think it was a continuation.
That makes sense. He says they love it, but he says that they emphasize their personalities more. Like Donnie's the geek.
Yep.
Raph's more of like that angry aggressor. Leo's the more stoic leader.
And it's more culturally relevant. They're saying
Yeah.
words like that, and maybe they did back then too. But like in the movie, they're talking
Well,
about Drake. They're
tubular, radical. That stuff was probably said in the 80s.
That's another thing in the second one is I felt like they did too much of that. Where like they would get done, they're like, radical. They're like awesome. It's like after every scene they got done fighting. It's
in
like
the toy store, it made sense. It's like the introduction, everything. But they did do it like 2 other times. And one time it was so like spaced out. Like it's like they were waiting for each one to say it before they continued. That was kind of a little much. I get that. But overall, though, I was still happy with it. My nostalgia wins.
Yeah, I think this is something else too. Splinter knew, like, now I'm getting to the story. Splinter knew that just, I don't know, maybe a month ago, maybe that's the time span, less. We don't know, but a very short period. Your boys just got the break speed off of them by Shredder. You just gonna stay just posted up, meditating, and not go help them? Like, come on. Like in the final fight, he did save Ralph. He shot the arrow and did that. But after that, like, come on, bro. Like, dude, he worked your boys. Go help.
They have to learn one way or another,
And how the newspaper come out that quick?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they would do a newspaper every day.
But dude, they in the middle of the night fighting. And now I'm being very nitpicky. I don't want to do that because I do love that movie where it's like, Ninja Rap is bored. He's like, go Ninja, I made another funny. That was great. But, oh, man, I don't know. I might be veering towards where Kevin Eastman, and I don't know.
You're just like, I know the creator didn't like the show or the movie.
Yeah.
I hate it now.
The third one I always hated. So, like, when that one comes out, it's going to be tough.
I wonder
they
if
may not do a 35th.
Yeah, they might not.
So this is something that I want to talk about too. Is I thought was really cool. Is we met a guy there, and it was kind of dope to talk to him because he was a huge Turtles fan.
Huge, yeah.
Same age as us. He said he realized that day
that it was out,
and he's like, "Dude, I got to go before I go back to Georgia."
Yeah.
And here he was. He got his popcorn, got his drink, came out. He said, now he's disappointed because he said he didn't see the first one. He didn't even know it came to the theater.
Yeah, didn't realize that they were doing things like that. But he was talking about how he saw the Ghostbusters ones.
Yeah.
He's like, but if I would have known they did the first Turtles movie, I would have been in the theater.
And this is what I would say is really, really cool. Is here was a time where, here's this guy, here's us. We're around the same age. But there's that connection that Turtles brought for us where for 10 minutes we talked about the movie, talked about the nostalgia, talk about it. It was a dope time. And the cool thing is like Kevin Eastman talked about in that interview, he never thought that this was going to transcend generations.
Yeah. And now we've got, 3 generations at least?
Probably 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you think about, you got the people in the 80s. So you had the kids in the 80s. Then you had, like, I was born in 88. So, like, me and you being grown up 90s kids. Then you had that. So you had us. And then you had, those people's kids. Then our kids. Like, that was probably one of the dopest things about the first one is taking my oldest daughter, like her going with us that time. That was really cool. But like I said, their first exposure to Turtles was the animated movie.
Yeah, that's true.
But I wish that I liked the second one more than what I did. The first one, man, is just
first one's great.
So goated. It really is so good. I
still think it's funny that healing is just leaving Raphael face down.
I mean, what you gotta do, you gotta do.
Just that scene where his arms just like poking out.
Yeah. Yeah,
like, it gets me every time.
Oh, and this is another thing that I did like, and I think you liked it. I did. How they started the movie with everybody eating pizza.
I loved it.
Come on, man.
Who doesn't like pizza?
Like I said on our stream last night, it was kind of cheesy. And there was no pun intended last night when I did. Now it did. Now it did.
He had it like written down on his hand.
It was off the dome, guys. Jeez. Off the dome. But that's what I'm like, bro. Everybody eat pizza. Like, come on. They had the cops arresting
Everybody.
people. Arresting
That was
people.
great.
Like, I'm
Yeah,
like,
the person handcuffed and he's eating the pizza.
I'm like, come on. I know you guys like pizza. I know you're trying to go with that, but yeah, I just
What would you have preferred? Like random robberies and then like stealth turtle save?
that would have been dope.
Yeah.
The first one started really cool. It's just, I mean, they just ripped the Band-Aid off on the tone. Like, they really did. They're like, listen, this is what we're going to do. No, there was no cussing. I mean, I think the first time you hear Ralph, he says a cuss word.
Yeah.
You know, it'll move. So, yeah, the second one, the start, it was not as good as what I wanted it to be. But I still had a good time, and I still liked the movie. It's just, after seeing both in the movie theaters, I know people had to be disappointed when they came to the movies and saw that in the 90s. Because they would have not known. Like, at least we knew. We've watched these before, and we were younger that it didn't hit. Imagine someone being a huge Turtle fans, you just watching the first one.
The biggest difference is going to be like, okay, April O'Neil's different. What happened to Casey Jones?
Yeah, the Casey Jones was...
They don't even talk about him.
No.
Like, he's just gone.
Yeah. I mean, and dude...
They're like, he was a one-off character.
I think
April went through some plastic surgery.
Yeah, in the 90s. Casey Jones, I think, shows up in the third one, but at the very end, if I remember. I could be wrong, but I want to say, like, when they come back from being in the past,
he's kind of there.
He's like at the very end, like, shows up.
I don't remember the third one at all.
It was bad.
Like,
it was really
did
bad.
They wear samurai armor?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the one that had the cover. You used to have the movie.
Probably.
And it had them, and they would hold the little thing. It was not little, but it was whatever sent them back to the past. It like spun inside, and it was like a lamp looking thing or lantern.
I do not remember.
Yeah, that just. But if Kevin Easton likes that one better, then I gotta rewatch it. I don't think the interview did any favors for the second movie. Not at all.
No, it didn't. It didn't talk about it.
Though.
I mean,
I think he was offended that they wanted to do ninja rap in there.
Really?
I think so. I think now he's glad they did, but I think in the beginning he's like, oh, there's footnotes, like they wanted to add, a rap scene because rap was getting bigger at that time.
That's true, and he's kind of like it. Overall, with that movie, it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah, like I never even thought about this. How does a club just show up in the back of a junkyard?
Yeah. Well, okay, that's not as far fetched.
Maybe not.
That's not as.
But it looked like a nice club.
Again, not as far fetched.
You're right. I'm being a little critical on that part.
That part I can see that.
But Vanilla Ice there?
Again, not far fetched.
Well, now, but back in the 90s, man, him and MC Hammer were, like Drake and Kendrick.
Oh, man.
For a very short period.
Very short period. It must have been out of that period. I mean...
But no, it's what's some of your final thoughts on it? I mean, I had a really good time, and I really do hope we get to do more.
I still
of this.
enjoyed going to see the movie. I mean, I still enjoy the movie. I still say they're great. I haven't seen the newest animated movie.
You need to, man.
Yeah, so I can't. Maybe if I had, I would be like, okay, yeah, the ranking's different. After seeing it, I'm still like, hey, let's make a new live action movie.
Yeah, they definitely.
I don't want a remake. I want to stress that I want a new movie.
So you want a continuation from?
Doesn't even have to be a continuation. Can be a new standalone thing.
So yeah,
but I don't want the same story. Like let's do a new thing. I'm tired of remakes.
But you want Shredder as the antagonist.
I mean, yeah,
you got to. I still feel like he's the best guy.
I want Shredder as the antagonist, but change up the story a little bit.
Well, to be fair, the new animation one didn't have Shredder as the antagonist. It shows him at the very end and teases him for the second.
Okay.
He's kind of like brought in by this underground group, I guess, to come and deal with
that, or forget Shredder. Do Crag.
Yeah.
Do the brain.
Yeah, Crane.
The brain.
Yep.
Yeah. Do that.
I always felt like that could be a little hard.
But today, you should be able to do it. Actually, that would beg the question. It kind of gives me like the Fantastic Four thought. Would you prefer like with the Turtles, how they did like a live action, a suit?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of how they did with the Thing, or would you prefer CGI
Nah, you gotta go suits.
for the brain? Or
you're talking about for the brain.
For the turtle suits, 100%. But it's like when you think about that, do you keep them all there? Because like Tokar and Razor, I mean, I don't even know how they did it when I think about it. Like
It was impressive.
animatronics and stuff. Yeah, especially for then, it was very impressive.
It was impressive.
I mean, even watching it back and looking at the turtle heads and them talking and doing all the mouth movements and stuff. I mean, that was super impressive. Was it the actors in the suits controlling it? I mean, that's stuff that we should have looked into for this. But that is the most impressive stuff to me, and that's kind of like my takeaway.
Still holds up.
Yeah,
35 years later.
exactly.
It's impressive.
So that would be my big thing if you redo it. Do you go that route where it's more kind of, I forget the name for it.
It's like animatronics.
Yeah. But
you know who
there's a
made
name
those?
for the type of makeup though, kind of like Hellboy again.
But you know who did those, and I don't know if this part of their business is still it's like open. I don't know. I have to. Jim Henson, the one that did the Muppets.
The Muppets.
Their company made those.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So that's why I said I don't know if like something happened between the two, entities with that. I don't know. But I definitely agree. Maybe it's just probably so much easier doing animation now.
Yeah, more than likely.
But it was really good. Make sure you check it out. But again, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to us. Like I said, we got this long form. We got another one that I'm going to put after this that we actually recorded a little bit ago. But we got to put this one up because we just saw it. So it's been a lot of fun. So if you like TMNT, make sure to subscribe. But if you like all things nostalgia from the 90s, early 2000s, games, movies, TV shows, just cultural things, make sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube, but follow us on all of our social media.
Yeah. Drop a like, drop a comment, follow us.
Rewind back, baby.